been freaking ever, has it not been? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are just coming across my video for the first time. Nice to meet you. Today we're talking about head overuse. I think this is the first K-drama I've finished in a while. After the Untied Palace, this is actually the first K-drama I've finished. I think I just keep like dropping, not even starting. Just like I'm just more comfortable like doom scrolling these days than like watching shows, which is like kind of sad. Shows like we're not getting as much as we should be getting. But anyways, Head Over You really delivered such a good show. It's like I think it's a rom-com and it's very like romance and comedy was also like comedy. Before we get into it, leave a like, consider subscribing, and leave a comment about which shows you've been watching recently because I can't find anything. You guys can't find anything. So we follow Song A. Song A is a teenage shaman who is like immediately we see her doing like shamanic stuff, and then an alarm starts ringing and she's like, I need to go to school. Evil spirit, are you coming out or not? So we see her like run to school. We see how she's like quite serious about school, even though she has like a job, the shaman job, which she takes also very seriously. So it kind of clashes because she goes late to school, had to like jump the fence, and then we meet Joe immediately. A friend who was lost, who was just like waiting for her. I knew you're going to come late. I'm just like help you so that you don't break your leg from jumping off the fence. And then I mean, you could tell in like a second that Juno is going to be like in love with us. But that was not. I don't think that was like a surprise to anybody. So, but then we definitely see that school is not going so well because she had a test that day and she did bad, and she was like, what, I'm not going home early today. I'm going to stay here and study, and she just went to sleep. So like even she's not trying. And then we see her fully in a like shamanic role, wearing a shaman robe, really pretty, but she covers her face while she's like walking because she really wants to live like a normal teenage life. She wants to like finish high school, go to college, just like a normal girl, even though she knows that she's not that normal because she has like shamanic abilities. And then we meet Keonu, who like walks into the house upside down, and we've seen her had a dream about kind of a younger self being like, you want this, I'm going to give this to you, but it's going to walk up to you upside down. And we know being upside down means like you're dying like so soon. And she has also made it clear to us that she doesn't care about feelings and all. What she needs is a beautiful face. So immediately Gionu walks in, she's like, "Oh, that's a beautiful face, but why is he upside down?" And she's like, oh my god, it's too beautiful to die. And even though she like kind of seemed like so vain, like you just have to be beautiful, we also know that she like wants someone that's like really caring, because she asked this question like, what would you do if you would like were to see someone crying by the roadside? Because she wants someone who would like care for that person, because she was in that position, and a lot of people did not care for, except for like spirit mother, who's like also a shaman, who was one that took her in. So Granny was like, I'll just stay beside them and like until they feel better, because there's nothing I can do for them anyways. I know that answer satisfies her, and she's like, okay, you are too beautiful and kind to die. I'm going to do everything I can to protect you. And then we go on like a long journey of her just trying to protect him. She's like, what can I do? She's like trying to like do everything she can. She even goes to get amulet from a flower shaman who's like kind of related to them, maybe kind of friends of the family, but no, he has his own shaman like shop. I call it shaman shop. The different side of town. She like sneaks out of her house, travel to get amulet for him, and tries to like give it to Gionu. But then she realized that Gionu actually ate shamans. We do not blame Gionu, because we come to find out also that Gionu has like bad experience with shaman. His grandmother has been taking him from shaman to shaman, trying to like rid him of this like misfortune that he says plagued with. Like from being a child, he's been going through like so much. He's always like almost like facing death like every day, every other day. And they keep like going to different shamans, and nothing has been done for like so long. His grandmother keeps spending money, so he just grown to hate them. And we know there's this shaman called Yomwa, who's like being like just treating him so bad, so awful from the beginning, with help like with support from his family. That part is just, I really hate that we did not get into it, that part, because his whole family like they pushed him out because he's so like covered in misfortune. He's going to like get it on everybody else. His own parents pushed him out. The only person who took him in, who was taking care of him, is his grandmother. Like he's just a really like pitiful boy, really. And then we can get like it's how his age came for shaman. So when they met in school as like normal teenage student, someone is unable to like just come out straight, be like, oh, this is me, I'm helping you, blah blah blah, and I'm a shaman. She couldn't like get that she couldn't tell him that, so she starts helping him like in secret. She then try to put like the amulet in his home without him noticing. But then the grandmother like catches on and like, oh, thank you so much. Now we're going to follow her trying to save him from like a lot of different things. Because just a little while after that, his grandmother dies and he's like so depressed because because we meet his family again. His family are just horrible people. They're like, why are you here bringing like misfortune to our mother? Do you not want her to like cross? Those are words from our aunties, our uncles, and they even like told him to leave before his parents get here. Because they're like, your parents are coming, he's going to, and he had to leave, and it was just so horrible. And then at that point, he gets like really depressed, like suicidal, and someone has to like save him from that. That's when she starts the human amulet process, where she has to like touch him to like kind of like get rid of like the bad energy and everything. I mean, she's enjoying it way too much, and he's just like something's wrong with this girl. She's crazy. And at that point, I really felt like quite like upset on their behalf because Joe is also aware of what someone is doing, and he's also helping any way he can. But like Gionu is like just so mean to them. I mean, I also get where he's coming from. He's been going through this his whole life. He was coming from like his past school. He like got in trouble with his friend, ended up in like in a bad position with them. So I get why he doesn't want to make friends. He doesn't understand why they want to be friends with him. I definitely understand it. But like I also like feel quite upset for those two because they were like just trying their best. Because someone is like really trying his best to save him, and Joe is just like also helping out while he's just being mean to them. But she was able to save him from like a water ghost that was like in their toilets and like almost possessed this other guy, giving the guy ghost trauma. And then she saved him from the suicide ghost, which like get attached to you when you're like suicidal. And because even if you want to save someone from suicide, I think it's generally the person also has to like want to live. And generally and gradually they discover that archery is something that makes you feel alive, and was able to like get back into archery with the help of the archery coach who is like obsessed. That man is like something else. I think that man with like Songa and Jiro also like brought like a bit of more like hope in his life. She's protecting him from everything, and then they eventually get past the feeling of him just like not wanting to be friends with them, and just realize that they're just really nice people, and like someone is just really nice, and like someone is just really cute, and they like get to this like very like pleasant friendship relationship bonding between the three of them, only for him to like kind of catch her in the act of being a shaman. And most importantly, in the act of being a shaman alongside Yomoa, even though Yomoa and Sonwa were meeting like for the first time, he misunderstood the situation, and like just gets like he just feels really betrayed, which eventually made the human amulets become useless. And that was when Gio had to step in, because he also saw what he was going through, and it was like kind of like they just all really like want to take care of him so much, which is so like sweet to see. And Gio also became an human amulet for him, and that was just hilarious to see. And after that, we see that Yom has like putting some kind of spell on a picture that's him and his grandmother, and he's just really upset by that, trying to like clean that up without realizing that it's like more than that. Like the curse has been placed on his grandmother, and he desperately like goes to and he desperately goes to Yoma trying to like get that off, while Yoma is like using the opportunity to come into his house and like get rid of what was even protecting him in the first place. Someone steps in to like help get rid of like the curse on the grandmother, and kind of a little bit show Gionu that she's just doing this for him, she's just doing this to be nice to him, and not every shaman is like evil and all. And Yoma just took that as an opportunity to do crazier things by then sacrificing Gionu as like some kind of like last sacrifice to the evil spirit that she's trying to like build up. There's this like evil spirit in this abandoned shack which has been like making like pacts with, doing like a bunch of serious like evil sacrifice, like human sacrifice, to get this like ghost to become an evil spirit. And yes, feel bad for us, because how did Gionu end up getting possessed by this evil spirit that your mom has been breeding? Only for us to realize that he's not even an evil spirit. Then we meet Bongsu, the spirit that is supposed to be like crazy evil, just turned out to be like a really silly, goofy personality. And then just a little after, we realized that this evil spirit is just like a child who like had to go to war as a child soldier and died in this war. And then it just makes your mom like way more despicable because she didn't even find out what like anything about the ghost, who or what the ghost was, and then proceeded to like turn it into like an evil spirit. I mean, good for her because the evil spirit turned out to be just a goofy child, but like she like she kind of did this to like the ghost of like a child who like went through so much. And then we find out that because of the strength of the human amulet between Sonwa and Gyeonu, and because Gyeonu had already realized how like Sona was just like paying nice to him, and there was like nothing behind her, there was no like evil or anything intention. So like the trust was built back, and the human amulet started to work again, and even like strong enough to like bring Gyeonu out of like his possessed body whenever Songa was touching her. So we have like so now we meet both Gyeonu and Bongsu interchangeably, which shows Cho Young-woo's like really great acting, because we meet Bongsu, which is like an opposite character to Gyeonu, because Gyeonu is like more like down to earth, like more on the calmer side, just like very soft spoken, while Bongsu is just an angry child. He's just an angry child. And then we get to see more of Bongsu. I just see that he's like a child that obviously did not get to live his life and just wants to do that, because living in Keanu's body, we see him at school just like interacting with people, just playing with friends. It doesn't seem like he has like any plan to be evil whatsoever. Immediately your mom found out that, oh, the evil spirit is like as awakening, and everything, she was on her way to like get the evil spirit to like reside into her to become a patron deity, and got out while having like some kind of like altercation with with their mom, their spirit mom. And the spirit mom like takes her home in the same house where we now have Bongsu trapped in Keanu's body. And I just don't understand why they kept leaving Yonwa to like do her thing. I feel like they should have just tied her down like the second they brought her into the house. Because by leaving her in that house, she tried to like convince Bongsu to like come out of Keanu's body. And Bongsu was like, I like it here. I'm going to spend at least 10-20 years here. And then she tried to like cast a spell to bind them together. Then she tried so much, I just don't understand why they kept leaving her to like do things. I would have tied her up like the second she got into the house. I don't know what they were doing. So we got to experience another angle of romance, because Gyeonu and Songa has to stay together for Gyeonu to be able to like to be present. If not for that, we're going to have like Bongsu instead. And even though Bongsu is just sassy and annoying, we could tell he has like a special feeling for Songa also, because there's been like it's been like hinted that the evil spirit had been watching Songa for like a long time, because they've been trying to like kind of like exercise the house, kind of get the evil spirit to like cross over for like a while also. So even though Bangsu is like so like goofy and perceived to be evil, he's just like soft for Songa. And then we see Yomuak like continuously trying to like find ways to get Bangsu to like to get Bangsu to escape Kyonu's body so that she can accept him as like a patron deity. And she even like kind of tricked Gio, and I believe it's because someone kept leaving Gio out of the loop, where like it wasn't even necessary. She could have just told him what was going on. Like he knew about everything from the beginning. So I don't really understand why she like kept leaving out of the loop at like random times. We got him to get tricked by Yomwa, and then she and then he passed on the ring that was actually possessed by Bongsu to Yomwa, which Yomwa was like going to break, which would then kill Gyeonu and get Bongsu to escape. And in the midst of that, Bongsu had to do something to defend himself and kind of like counteracted the spell to get Yomwa to get killed instead. But the spirit mom was also trying to be like a good mom to Yomwa, because it turns out she was like Yomwa's like spirit mom until they kind of like broke up. And then she also had the human amulet done, and instead of Yomwa, the curse ended up getting to her and she ended up dying. For me, this is like a part that I really do not agree with, because we had this like situation where like Yoma was like so mad, so pissed at the mother, that why is she trying to be nice to her now? You abandoned me. We kind of know that Yoma had a child who died, and she was kind of like trying to bring the child back to life. And even shamans, like they have like code of conduct, and that was like something that was not possible, so they stopped her. So I'm guessing she like left the house at that point, and like she felt abandoned by the spirit mother. So she's like, well, the spirit mother trying to be nice to her, you abandoned me and then you replaced me, blah blah blah. So I guess it's kind of some kind of like guilt that the spirit mother was feeling, because I don't understand why, like, or maybe she didn't expect that Joma was going to die, but like Joma had done like so much evil that dying was like, everybody was seeing it, we were like expecting it. So like protecting Yonwa enough to like die for her, to me it seemed like abandoning Song on the other side. Because now Song is left with no mother. I mean, we know that biological parents are like people who try to like extort her, and when she wasn't making money for them again, they like abandoned her. So she had nobody, and then the space mother like kind of sacrificed herself for Yonwa instead, leaving Song alone. I really did not agree with that. And so Yoma has done so much that she kind of deserves it. If like death is what is coming for her. Because she's going to go to hell anyways. Let her die early and go to her hell. But then we lost like the spirit mother, and Bongsu, he also felt really bad. And someone was like, she has to do something. She has to like, save girl, protect everyone from Bongsu, and then intentionally allow Bongsu to like, come into her own body. So she gets possessed by Bongsu, and then she spends like the next like 3 years like kind of disappearing. And because we know that she really like wants to finish wants to finish college, she missed all that. And for me, I really just don't understand, because at the end of the day she ended up coming back as Bongsu, and there was like nothing happened. And we see her saying like, oh, she did not want to like cause harm to like Gyonu or anybody around her, but like Bongsu has never really hurt any of them in that way. So I don't really know what what she was worried about. Like she intentionally like, went like eating and everything. And I know she was like, trying to like appease 100 spirits, because we know that the ghost had to kill 100 spirits to become an evil spirit in the first place. So she was trying to like appease 100 like, ghost or spirit or whatever to get Bongsu like to cross over easily, since we know like, he isn't like just like a bad person from the beginning. But she could have still done that like with everybody. I really don't understand why she had to disappear. Because in episode 11, she was gone for like almost all the other episodes. I didn't understand it. And then only for her to come back in episode 12. But she was like fully possessed by Bongsu. And we got to see Bongsu acted out by Cho Yeon, which I really love. Bongsu just a sassy being. So whoever was possessed, it was going to be sassy anyway. So I became a sassy fashionista and everything, but we could still see, because at that point they just couldn't find out how to like get Bongsu to cross over. And Bongsu was also starting to feel bad, because when Songa came back as Bongsu and met all their friends who have been worried because she has been away for like close to 3 years, Bongsu also felt bad, because at that point Songa couldn't like come out to meet them. It was like Bongsu meeting them. Honestly, I wish they had like, told their close friends that there was someone called Bongsu, so that they kind of all noticed that they met Bongsu. Because I feel like Bongsu deserved that also. Because even Bongsu eventually talked to girl, and I was like, can you die for me? I was like, what? And I was like, I really can't find like a way to like get me like exercise, and I can't stay in Songa longer, because our spirit vessel is going to break. And we know that our spirit patrons had already left her a while ago, because she was like gone for too long or something. So they only like intentionally get possessed and contacts Yoma, because Yoma became so calm, even though I was still suspecting her after the spirit mother died, and she wanted to get rid of Bongsu so that everybody can be safe from him, which I still don't know, because our solution was to kill whoever was like possessed by Bongsu at that point. Why Songa was obviously looking for like a different way, which means there's like a different way. So honestly, all our methods are just not it. And then John intentionally gets possessed, calls Yomwa. They kind of like trap Songa in a dream so that she's not going to like trying to like stop them and get out. Because at that point she didn't have like any like patron deity or anything. So Yomwa and Bongsu go like into like the haunted house that Bongsu was in the first place, and try to like undo everything. Both of them were going to die, which means Kyonu was going to die. I was so happy when like Songa woke up and like went back to like beg for a patron deity to come back. And even the spirit mother that was now dead kind of came back to her as a deity, and they were like able to like find a way to like exorcise Bongsu. And then because we know that they need to like find out what like the ghost, the evil spirit or whatever, like what they like had, like what was keeping them from crossing over, and then they were going to resolve it. And first of all, they even need to like find out the ghost name, which we had the same thing like the haunted palace. They need to find out what the ghost name was, and even Bongsu himself could not figure out what his real name was. And then we saw like in his like in his memory where there's like him Bongsu has like a child soldier and one other child soldier just there to like protect each other and everything. And only for us to find out that there was like no other child soldiers to begin with. It was just Bongsu, and it was like so scared, going through like so much that he kind of like created like a fake older soldier, like kid soldier also to protect him. So he couldn't cross over because he believed that he had to like give he had to help the other soldier to like deliver this ring to their mother. But like that was just what he wanted. It just made it so sad. Episode 11 was not for me because I was crying because Bongsu was that deserves so much more. And then because he was able to like get rid of that stuff that they found out that his name was like the name that they knew the whole time, not Bong Jun Yun Bo, something like that. So they were able to like rid him of his worry and was able to like pass on, like cross up to the afterlife. I really wished we could have seen them kind of like return the ring to like maybe Bongsu's like actual family. I'm sure like we don't know how long he's been dead for. Maybe his parents will have been gone, but maybe like some of his like relatives that would like know about him and would like kind of maybe give him more honor, more kind of satisfaction. I really wish we'd seen that, but we did not see that. And then eventually we have Keanu saved from dying. Your mom was also saved from dying. I do not know why we like saved her from dying, and she got no consequence. I know they say there's divine punishment, which is a kind of sickness, which I know maybe she might experience, but we didn't even see her go through that. So we just feel like she got nothing. But at least Sona was able to get her as our patron deities, because now she has like a bunch of them, which means she's like more powerful. And Johnny was able to live like a normal life. Now he's not like plagued by misfortune, he's not possessed. So he can just go on with like the things that he wants to do. And for some reason Gio became his like living housewife that was just like cooking for him because he was just like escaped his parents. And even though Gio like confessed his feelings to Songa after knowing that Songa and Keanu liked each other, they said we were going to like talk about it again, but they never talked about it. And I just also feel like he deserves more, because at some point I don't like when they like treat a main character's friend as just a side character. Like I know he's a side character, but like this is their friend. I feel like they deserve like to be treated as like friend. Usually they're just treated as like somebody that only appears when they need something, and sometimes they just like don't give them what they deserve. Because Gio was so nice to Gyeonu. He became an human amulet for him, even if it was just because of Songa. He also did that. It was able to work because he really wished well for Gyeonu. And he was someone who has supported Songa from the beginning. He knew about our secrets. He has been our friend the whole time. So I think like they deserve like more than just like him like giving up on his love. They never talked about his. It didn't even seem like they were like closer as friends. I just feel like Gio deserve like some kind of more compounded ending. I also feel like Gyeonu's family deserve like we need to like know more about how it started, how the misfortune whatever started, how it ended. Because I think it was ended that like it took the family's misfortune, which means it probably wasn't planned from the beginning. Your mom just started some kind of like thing that made him get plagued. Like we did not get to like talk about that. They did not like get any consequence. Your mom faced no consequence. And sure, we got like a little bit of like romance at the end of like episode 12, a little bit of kissing. We could have gotten them going to college. We could have gotten like just a little bit more, we could have gotten 2 more episodes. If you watch any of my video, I'm never one for like asking for like more than 12 episodes, because K-dramas usually sometimes it doesn't need to be 16 episodes, they just drag it so much. But this one needed to be 16 episodes or at least 14 episodes. I think 16 episodes might be doing too much, so 14 would have been perfect. But I really like how it is done right now, even with the way it ended, because it was happy ended. So far this show is competing to be like the best show of this year. We have like a few months, and I'm giving these K-drama writers and producers, I'm giving them the challenge. Please take it, please accept it, please help us, save us somehow, because we'll be struggling this year. The shows I'm looking forward to, this Yuna of like Girls' Generation and Boyon show, looking forward to that. And My Girlfriend is the Man, it's been funny so far, so I've not started it. I might start it soon because I don't know how it's going to end. I don't want to like waste my time. Let me know what you guys are like looking forward to. Which one have you started so far? Like what are we watching? And okay, See you guys next time. Bye.